Hey everybody, how's it going today? I had a subscriber hit me up with a question about sampling on the MPC and how to play a single note across all the keys on the keyboard, and I thought I would show you how to do that today. All right, so let's first this is my MPC. You can't really see too much of it outside of the screen because to make sure the screen is nice and crisp, I have the lights off. So I will basically tell you what I'm doing outside of that area of the screen. First, what I'm going to do before we go any further is I'm going to go over to the main menu here. All right. And we're going to hit this little icon right there, which takes me to the sequencer. And you'll see that if I play the keyboard I have hooked up outside here, you don't hear anything coming off of it because right now it is the inputs are turned to, they're muted. But we want to be able to listen to those. So I'm going to scroll down to audio here and I'm going to hit monitor on or in. And now we can hear that keyboard. This is the keyboard I'm going to use for a sample in a moment. And that was just so we can know what's going on a little bit better. All right. Now we're going to go into sampler. And if I go over here and I play a key, you can see the bar jumping up right there, right over here. See it right there. And that's telling me the signal is getting in. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to hit ARM. And it will be ready to record. And as soon as I play a note, it will start recording. What I'm going to do with the note, the way I usually sample, is that I will try and go beyond, just like with the, give you the example that I usually use when I try to explain how this works. If you were a runner and you finished a race, you don't just bust the ribbon and stop. You keep going, right? You bust through it and you run another 20 feet or something or 40 feet. To, slow down, get your, wits about you type thing, whatever, I don't know how far you want to run after, but maybe you get the idea. You don't just stop. So just like that, when you're sampling, don't just stop at the end of the sample. If you've got room, like in today's samplers versus the stuff back in the, 90s where you didn't have much of a choice but to stop because your RAM was gone. But, today we just play the note on through for a little bit so that we have enough room for a tail without looping the note, because looping the note is sometimes a pain to get that to loop right. So here we go. I'm going to hit ARM and now we're ready. I'm going to give it a note. And there we go. Now that was a C note. I use C because I usually use C. It just makes sense to me. And all right, and now I'm just going to hit keep. Okay, and let's go over here. Next, we're going to menu, and we're going to go to sample editor. And you'll see that the note that we just sampled pops up here. If the note that you sampled does not pop up here, you can use the data wheel to turn to the note, or to the sample rather. You'll be able to see the different samples that way. Right now, I've only got one sample in here, so it's either nothing or my sample, but use your data wheel to move that around. So now here we are. Let's hear what it sounds like. All right. That's it. If I just hit the play the whole thing, it'll play it all out. Or I can try some of the other, variations here, the red buttons on the beat pads. So right now we've got the sample in. There are a couple things I like to do to the sample before we go ahead and consider it ready to rock. I'm going to hit process. Okay. And first what we're going to go and do is we're going to normalize this. This will give us it's going to raise level to as loud as it can be without clipping. You don't necessarily need to do this, but sometimes I like to do it anyway. So now here's what we've got. Now that's pretty loud. I'm going to turn it down just a smidge. I'm just turning down the synth a little bit so I don't hurt your ears. So now we've got that in there. Now I could clip the ends off, but I think we're good as far as what we've got going on here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right up here. I'm going to give this a name. And we're just going to call this, we'll call it percussion or perk synth. All right. So I've got to give it a name, hit do it. And now we're going to go over to the menu. Now go into menu again. And this time we're going to program edit. All right. Right now this is on audio, which we don't want to be on audio. So let's go fix that. That's because I was over here when I hit main, because I changed the input there to go to turn on the monitoring. It jumped to audio. I forgot to put it back to MIDI. So we just go in there and we tap MIDI right here, and this will bring us over to MIDI. Now, when you look at your icons here, there are several different options. On the left, you see the pads, the beat pads. That would be if I wanted to make a drum kit. The plug is a plug-in, so those are the virtual synthesizers. What you're looking for is this little piano-looking one, the third one on the top level. It might be hard to see because the burst on the video here is a little bright, but it looks like a little piano key. It's like your C, D, and E key with the sharps on there. All right, and now we're going to go back out here, hit menu, and we're going to program edit. And now that we're here, we hit samples right down here and turn the data wheel. Oops, tap right here where it says none. Then turn the data wheel, and now you can see our sample. We're already most of the way there. Now, if you're happy with this, basically just stopping completely, like drop them right off, then we're good to go. We've already got enough to work with. If you want to modify it, there's a ton of modifications you can do here. We can go to envelopes. And usually what I do is I'll take a little bit of release and put it on there to give it a little, maybe a little more than that. Just give it a little, little life at the end. You can add a little more to the attack so it's not such a hard attack. Hard attack. And let's see, maybe a little more on the release. There we go. And that's basically where I would start with all this. You can take go over to the effects if you want to. There's also LFO. You can play with that if you want. But I'm going to go right to the effects. We're going to go over here. I'm going to drop just a smidge of reverb on there, maybe. I'll go reverb small. There we go. Select. You can edit that with this little pencil. All right, well, there we go. So that's basically it. Once you're all set, let's go back over here, and we'll take this program right here. Now that we've got ourselves all set up, go back to global here. All right. Now we'll go right over here to save from the menu, and we're going to save this program key group. There we go. And so we'll name this one right here. We'll just call it, again, we'll call it percussive synth. Some will call it perk synth. And save. Go back over here to the main menu. We should now be seeing, there we go. Down in our key group is the perk synth sound. It's now saved to your hard drive or a memory card, and you can recall that whenever you want. So that's not too bad, I don't think, as far as making a quick sample from another synthesizer. That only took a couple minutes. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'm happy to try and help you out, and I hope this helped you get further in making your music that you wanted to make. And don't forget to like and subscribe if this content was helpful to you. I hope it was. Have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.